The last two teams remaining in the 2023 Eastern Conference are the top two teams in the league this season. Charleston defeated Louisville City 2-1 last year in the Eastern Conference Championship. Two elite goal-scoring teams are led by the top two goal scorers in the league. Nick Marcanic leads the league with 21 this season. Another 24-year-old for Lou City, Wilson Harris, is second with 14 goals. It's a massive matchup in the USL Championship. For the 20th time, Charleston and Louisville City clash. This matchup is in Louisville, Kentucky, where Lou City has 6 wins and 3 draws, and Charleston has never won in this facility. These are the top two teams, not just in the Eastern Conference, but in the entire league, pulling away from the rest of the pack. Most points, most goals scored, and the best goal differential. And for Lou City, they've dealt with some injuries, but they bring in quite the reinforcement in Philip Goodrum.
What a striker to get. Fantastic hitter of the ball. Look at that. Buries it absolutely brilliantly, but he's good with the head as well. Watch this diving header, throwing himself full length. That is brilliant. On average, 1 goal every 2 games during his time for FC Tulsa and Memphis 901.
Goodrum teams with Wilson Harris as we take a look at tonight's Lou City profile presented by Commonwealth Credit Union.
Look at that, round about 0.4 each per game. That's 0.8 together. I mean, who gets virtually a goal a game from 2 strikers? And you look at the rest of Lou City, how much talent they have in every single position. Wow, this team just gets better and better.
Louisville City has firepower. Well, so does Charleston, the second best goal-scoring team in the league this season, buoyed by Nick Marcanic's league-leading 21 goals.
Oh, Nick Marcanic is just brilliant at the moment in everything he hits, every strike. And have a look at this one. He's going to chest it and volley it in one move. That is the highest quality. And MD Myers as well has been chipping in with a whole ton of goals. He's big and strong. Look how quickly he hits it and the power he gets from that left foot. What a combination those two are up front for Charleston.
Myers, 11 goals this season. He's scored in back-to-back games. He's been a goal scorer everywhere he's gone. He might be the forgotten person in this matchup.
Well, he's scoring enough goals not to be forgotten. He's big and strong. He's a great number 9. And this is all set up for the 2 best teams in the USL at the moment.
These 2 sides are the best goal-scoring teams, the best 2 individual goal scorers, and the teams with the most points in the USL Championship. Does Lou City win a 5th in a row, or does Charleston win for the first time ever in Louisville? Starting 11s and the kickoff come your way when we return.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Lease a dynamic new 24 Tacoma for $349 a month. Get a new 24 Tundra with 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash with 2 years no cost maintenance.
Come in today. Ooh, like.
Toyota, let's go places.
You ready to lose?
Oh, you wish. Let's go.
It's time to power up your old checking account. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union created Power Checking. This incredible all-in-one account powers your spending and with built-in high-yield savings, grows your balance at the same time. No minimums, no limits, just unparalleled benefits.
Best 2 out of 3.
Let's go.
Get to the next level with Power Checking, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
It's that time of year again, the Kentucky State Fair. Where will you go first? Indulge in some fair food? Jam out during the free concert series? Or just hang out with Fair Bear? Whatever you do, the fair is the perfect place to close out the summer. But sometimes weather can be unexpected. So to ensure you stay safe, they call Mark at WDRB to give the official green light for fun at the fair. WDRB Weather, the source.
More than 27,000 Kentucky and Indiana children receive cancer treatments from St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Join WDRB in the fight against childhood cancer with the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway.
Buy your
ticket now for a chance to win this new home right here in Kentucky. Visit WDRB.com and click on the St. Jude Dream Home tab to enter.
Every dollar we raise will help save a child's life and ensure that no family at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital receives a bill for treatment.
It's Phil the Fam night here in Louisville, Kentucky for the third year as Lou City, the top team in the USL Championship, faces off against Charleston Battery. Michael Watcher and Gary Bailey back with you as we take a look at the Lou City starting 11 here tonight. What do you see out of this group?
Yeah, just the one change to the side that beat Sac Republic 4-3. Amadou Dia comes in on that left-hand side. Jake Morris not in the squad today. So Wilson Harris, second in the Golden Boot, leads the line. And of course, the new signing, Philip Goodrum, is on the bench.
On the other side for Charleston this evening, Ben Pierman called the central defenders, Leland Archer and Graham Smith, the best center back pairing in the league. They'll have their challenges tonight.
They certainly will, but it's the same side that beat Memphis 3-1 in that 4-2-3-1 shape. Juan David Torres, keep an eye on him. Besides MD Myers and Marcanic, he's got 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 3 games.
The stage is set for Louisville City and Charleston Battery. A game very much that we could look back on at the end of the season that would decide the Players' Shield. Neither of these two sides have ever done that, and Louisville in their classic all purples, Charleston out in the whites. Elton Garcia is our center referee here this evening, and we're ready to roll here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's Lou City and Charleston Battery for the 20th meeting. Well, what do you expect at the outset of this matchup? Gary, Charleston has won the last 2 meetings.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to answer. 2 great sides. I thought Charleston away at Tampa Bay, they went 2-0 up, and they showed they're not scared to take on the big teams away from home. In the end, they conceded 2 very late goals to lose 4-2. So I don't think this is going to be straightforward for Lou City. I'm expecting a titanic clash with great players on both sides. It's one of those games you look forward to for days on end, and just can't wait to see what these 2 teams with 2 very good managers are able to serve up here tonight.
Louisville exceptional at home, 10 wins versus 1 loss. They have a plus 25 goal differential in this facility. At the top, it's Wilson taking the first shot of the match, and it's skies high. And look at Danny Cruz, his 4th season as the leader of this group, and he leads his team into battle, saying very much respecting this Charleston side. These 2 sides performing at an elite level right now.
And he's a young manager as well, at just 34 years of age, done really well. And they got to the Eastern Championship final against Charleston last year.
Harris pokes that one, but Grinwis chops at it and stomps on top of it, and he goes onto his backside after Wilson Harris was salivating, just could not quite get that ball around. The 32-year-old keeper from Michigan.
It's a very good save from Adam Grinwis. He has to stretch to get this. Wilson Harris is quick. Look at the goalkeeper. He throws his arms forward, risks getting kicked in the face. He throws his head into it and makes the block. It's a really good bit of goalkeeping, but I think he took a kick in the process, maybe to his ribs or body, and yeah, he'll be fine. Big and strong, but yeah, to his chest it seems he took the but just again, it shows you how quick and strong Wilson Harris is to turn over those few yards and accelerate away from the defenders.
Harris, the fastest player in USL Championship history to hit 50 career goals as well as 60 career goals, both being done this year. Tonight's weather report is brought to you by Advanced ENT. It is a steamy night here in the Commonwealth, 94 degrees this evening. Charleston, as good as they've been overall this season, on the road, just 1.38 goals per match. They've been shut out 5 times on the road. Will that factor in here this evening?
think for Charleston is you would think Lou City are the team who are under pressure to win, but they're not, because they have 2 games in hand over Charleston, and you would think these are the 2 teams, given the gap they have over the 3rd place in the USL overall, they will be battling for the Players' Shield. So if Lou City win, they're 4 points clear and 2 games in hand. So Charleston have to win this. I don't even think a draw is good enough, because if they do win, Charleston, they're 2 points clear, having played 2 extra games. Then it's close, then it's a battle. But if they lose 4 points and Lou City have 2 games in hand, you can pretty much say goodbye to the Players' Shield if you're Charleston Battery.
New Mexico, the leaders in the West, have 42 points, 7 fewer than the Battery, 8 fewer than Lou City. Emilio Icaza scored twice in the postseason last year. Charleston advanced to the final. Needed penalties before succumbing to Phoenix Rising in the USL final. Here's Dos Santos. One of the keys for Ben Pierman was for his team to have some spells of possession in the attacking third.
As we're talking about that Tampa Bay result when they went 2-0 up, and leading in Tampa is not an easy thing to do at Al Lang Stadium. This is a good Charleston Battery side. They don't panic. And Ben Pierman saying to us that they gave away a City penalty before half-time, and then things got a bit emotional. Grimwith got sent off 6 minutes from time. Ben Pierman himself got a red card after the match. He said, we just all got caught up in the moment. He said, this match we're going to be a little bit more focused and try not to let the emotions get to us. Just try and do the job that we need to do.
Icaza. Segbers splits this one through. Myers unable to get there in time. Lou City asking for a foul. They will not get one. Torres weaves it through. Marcanic out wide for Dos Santos. Dos Santos right back for Marcanic. Here's this ball wrapped around Arturo Rodriguez, who scored the opener in last year's Eastern Conference Final in the 5th minute off of a free kick, had his sights set on another highlight reel chance.
You can see he was trying to bend it past Damian Lass into that top corner. If it had bent a little more quickly, it might have been on target, but either way, I think Damian Lass was in position to make the save if required. You can see the goalkeeper just going across his goals, but nice bit of intent. You always like to see, if you're the coach, I'm sure Ben Pierman's happy to see his team on the front foot, asking the questions early on in the game.
Charleston have scored multiple goals in 8 consecutive games. They're averaging just shy of 3 goals per match in that window. Lou City have won 4 in a row for the 2nd time this year, aiming for a 5-game winning streak for the first time in 2 years. Grinwis. Who blinks first in this matchup of the top 2 in the USL Championship? Allen taps it for Juan David Torres.
You were talking about all the goal scorers as well, as we see Wilson Harris closing down, but Marcanic top of the Golden Boot with 21, Wilson Harris second with 14, MD Myers 5th with 11.
Harris shoots this ball. Grinwis punches it away. And the first shot on target, and the first time a keeper has to make a save. The flag, though, up.
Good effort. Forced Adam Grimwis into a decent save here, even though the whistle eventually gets blown. So what Wilson Harris can do is that he's at quite an angle, and yet he can still put a ball into a difficult position for the goalkeeper to deal with. Bounces in front of the keeper. Grimwis just pushing it away from trouble.
Here's one of the all-time leading goal scorers in the USL Championship, up to 63 now in his career, just 24 years old. Some of the young stars in North American soccer on display here tonight. Rodriguez punches at that one. Myers was the closest to it. Harris lines it up out wide. Dia ships this ball in. Chris Allen, who Danny Cruz said has been one of the big reasons why Charleston have been so strong this year. But it's another giveaway Foul is whistled, however, that bails out the battery in this sequence.
It's going to keep an eye on the sort of, can we best describe as the energy between the two teams, the vibe, the chippiness, whatever you want to call it. You know, when you're the best two, you both want to dominate. You're both used to winning. You both know you have great players in important positions. You want to win your tackles. You've been fired up. Make no mistake, both managers have fired up these teams to win their individual 50-50. So you know that it can boil over fairly quickly. And just watching it to see which teams get carried away too much with the emotion, who is likely to pick up a yellow card or not.
Wilson Harris trying to box this one out, unable to do so. Wilson, for a moment, it's a giveaway, and now here come the battery. Torres punches it through the middle of the field, and it's behind Marcanic. Ball takes a whiplash off the head of MD Myers, and because of the shot to the head, Elton Garcia blows his whistle to ensure that MD Myers is okay.
It's always painful, but it's the side of his face as opposed to his nose, and he just puts his hand up and says, "Don't worry, I'm all good." They're just shaking his head there saying, "Well, I'm fine, just give me the water." That's what I need.
In 2022, Myers was the Big Ten Player of the Year at Rutgers. Last year, won the MLS Next Pro Golden Boot, 19 goals in 28 appearances with New York City. And this year, 11 goals, including goals in back-to-back matches. And as we hit the 10-minute mark, scoreless so far. There's Ben Pierman. He said that they get all 3 points tonight if they can be comfortable being uncomfortable, understanding how good Lou City is at home, how solid they are on the press. And the question will be, can they pass that test here tonight against this Louisville City side? Lou City averages nearly 4 goals per match at home. There's the record. They'd won 7 in a row to begin the year at home until Rhode Island came in here and put a 5 spot on them. They'd given up just 6 goals in their first 7 home matches before Rhode Island stunned them. But that's part of Rhode Island's solid stretch that put them above the playoff line.
You can't win every game. It's going to be a day when you just, things just don't go your way. Players are not performing. They had one of those against Rhode Island. But other than that, they have been smashing goals. And even the last match against Sac Republic, they went 2-0 up, had 8 minutes. I think Danny Cruz said it was 8 or 12 minutes that he felt were really bad minutes. He said the rest of it, we were brilliant. And they came back flying, equalized, and then grabbed the winner at the end. Wilson Harris. And you know who had the assist? A back heel from none other than Sean Tosh. I'm just saying, we're asking Danny, surely he got ribbed in the locker room for that. Sean Tosh with an assist with a back heel, and he said, yeah, the players were on to him, teasing him about it, but great bit of skill from the centre back.
It's the second time in the last month or so they'd won it in stoppage time, and there was Tosh flying that ball in. Myers again trying to hold things up, and in doing so, draws the foul.
Something you get from MD Myers. He's big and he's strong. So not only is he a good finisher, he gives centre-backs like Ordonez a hard time. Then you've got Marcanic, who's a little bit quicker around the edges, not quite as physically strong, but maneuverable and just brilliant controller of the ball and finisher of opportunities. So, and then one David Torres has come from nowhere with 2 goals and 3 assists in the last 3 matches. At the start of the season, his family said, could they come for a trial? And Ben Pierman's saying, well, if you really insist, come along, let's see what you can do. Next thing they're like, wow, he's not bad, let's sign him up.
Yeah, Ben Pierman said that happens pretty frequently, that they will have players come in wanting a tryout, and oftentimes not much comes out of it, but did give Torres a chance to play. Pierman said that it happens about 100 times a year. Came in on a Monday, and by Tuesday went to the higher ups and said, we have to sign this guy. and saying that he's starting to adapt culturally to the area, and that's why his play is starting to turn up. Winder winds it wide. Aiden McFadden punches this ball in. Harris gets ahead to it. Marcanic draws the foul against Serrano.
Just looking at Ray Serrano, he's one of those players who's going to have to step up with the arrival of Philip Goodrum. You would think Wilson Harris is pretty much guaranteed his starting place. So Jansen Wilson or Ray Serrano could be the ones, you would think, to be pushed aside for Philip Goodrum. So it's a battle between those two to impress Danny Cruz and say, hey, I'm not the one to be taken off, because I'm pretty sure we're going to see Philip Goodrum in the second half at some stage. And if he comes on and does what we know he can do, every chance he's a starter going forward for the rest of the season. So somebody's going to lose their place.
Rodriguez loses possession. Adams takes it away. Smith was alert to it the first and the second time, but Serrano has it for a quick second before Segbers touches it. And just as we expected, the top two goal-scoring teams in the league have 2 shots at the quarter-hour mark.
It's going to be a good midfield battle. There's Tosh heading back to defend, but now before you can get the ball to the strikers to do their job, the midfielders have to win the ball, control it, feed it out. So for the likes of Juan David Torres and company, they've got to be the ones feeding the ball in to Mark Cannick and MD Mars on the Charleston side.
Archer punches that ball away, the captain for Charleston. Serrano asks for a foul, and Mark Segbers is called for the infraction.
To see if there is much of a contact. I didn't see it. I thought the ball was already lost before he went down, Ray Serrano. So I guess credit to Ray Serrano for winning the free kick then.
Mark Segbers, who was acquired in September of last year for the stretch run, carries over into this season after spending the last couple of years with Miami. Free kick here for Serrano. Here's Sean Tosh, 3-time first-team All-League selection. This ball angled right to the middle of the field. It's Serrano for a moment. Harris flies it wide. Amadou Dia right back in, and Ikaza sends it away, and it's a corner kick for the first time tonight.
There's a little opportunity for Ray Serrano there if he controls that ball properly. As I said, he needs to impress the manager. When this header comes in, I'm thinking chest it and hit it or do something, but in the end he gets a quad under his feet, then loses possession. Wilson Harris bails him out. Amadou Dia putting it right towards the danger area. But good defending there from the battery.
A Wi-Fi corner for Ray Serrano, the 22-year-old. Boomerangs this ball into the middle of the box. It's headed in. Aiden McFadden rises to the top. Lou City have the opener. Aiden McFadden scores to make it 1-0.
Oh, that's a fantastic header from Aiden McFadden. He's got up high, beaten all the Charleston battery defenders. Good ball from the corner put in by Ray Serrano. And the crowd applauding, including, we've got to mention, some famous people in the crowd, which you'll tell us more about in the minute. But here's that ball in. Gets up really well, gets ahead of Leland Archer there. Look at that, and whips his head as well. It's not just he gets the ball first there, Aiden McFadden, but he turns and powers that header right past Adam Grinwis, who's got absolutely no chance.
McFadden scores his 3rd goal of the season. Serrano dishes out his 4th assist of the year, and Lou City is off to a 1-0 start in this matchup. And they'll always look for more. Dia wraps this ball, unable to get it past Leland Archer. Arturo Rodriguez and Charleston look for a response. Torres pounds this ball across. Marcanic gets ahead to it, and Damian Loss catches out of the one bounce.
That's a good first goal to get from a set piece. Charleston battery will be annoyed. You always hate it when you concede from set pieces, but for Lou City at home, 1-0 up, it's a perfect start to the game for Danny Cruz and his team. And we saw a quick glimpse at the new shareholder for Lou City.
Jack Harlow, yeah, he's here, one of the big fans of Louisville City. Here's a run from Ray Serrano. Serrano bounces this ball off of the defender.
Good run from Ray Serrano, just no final product. A good effort though from Ray Serrano, and it was his corner that he put in, so he certainly is making an impact and impressing his manager, I would think.
Charleston have 3 comeback wins this season, including the first time these teams played when Lou City opened the scoring in the opening 10 minutes. At Charleston, Marcanic would get a brace in the opening half hour, and the Battery would see out a 3-2 win. Need similar magic here tonight. This one on the road. Allen chases against Tosh. Tosh shoves a couple times. Allen flies this ball across. Marcanic was looking for a recovery. Past Dos Santos. There is Jack Harlow, the newest member of the Lou City ownership group, announced today. One of the biggest fans that you'll find in Louisville, does a lot of concerts in the area as well.
Oh, you're talking about Charleston Battery coming back from being down, going back 6 games. They were 2-0 down against Hartford away from home. Came back to fight out a 2-2 draw there. So they do know how to just keep cool, keep calm and collected. Long way to go in this match yet. But never easy when you're away from home in a packed stadium that's against you, against the team that's #1 in the USL, and you're 1-0 down. And they have Philip Goodrum on the bench. So it all starts to stack up a little bit.
Lou City has scored first for the 17th time in 23 matches. They're 14-1-1. Wow. Nearly unbeatable when they score first. But as you mentioned, last week against Sacramento, Danny Cruz said we were fantastic for 83 minutes, incredibly poor for 7 minutes. They would walk away with 3 points against Sac Republic last week. Dia wins that ball, but not cleanly. Elton Garcia is over to show a yellow card to Amadou Dia.
These days, winning the ball doesn't stop you from getting a yellow card. I think that's the best way to put it. If you win the ball and you get the player, you can still get booked, as we've seen right here. It used to be that just winning the ball was enough. You would be very careful not to take out the player in the process, and according to referee Elton Garcia, it's exactly what Amadou Dia did. I think a lot of the older folk watching would say, come on, that's a fair tackle, and it certainly used to be. Not so sure it is anymore.
Yellow card presented by Bone Dry Roofing, our first booking of the evening.
Calling the medical staff across. Yeah. Don't know exactly what the discussion's all about, but Wilson Harris was waving his hands furiously at the bench. I don't know if Amadou Dia got hurt in the process.
We'll get that left leg looked at here. Lou City have jumped out in front of this matchup of the top 2 teams in the USL Championship. Danny Cruz looks on as his group looks for a 5-match winning streak and a chance to put a vice grip on the inside track to the player's shield this year.
I hope Amadou Dia is going to be all right, because Jake Morris isn't even on the bench. Oh, it looks like it's a contact lens that's come out. I'm going to say, Jake Morris not even on the bench. You would have to sort of move the team around a little bit, because there's no naturally wide player. You'd have to bring on someone there and shift across and play a different system. So I'm sure Danny Cruz delighted and relieved that Amadou Dia is fine to continue.
So after that, back into play here as Charleston trail a goal to none. 24th minute. Michael Watring, Gary Bailey, and our team with you here in Louisville, Kentucky for the premier matchup this weekend in the USL Championship. The top two sides in the entire league sit atop the Eastern Conference. If there's a winner tonight, that will be the team atop. If it's a draw, Lou City will maintain its spot as the #1 team in the East. Adams sweeps this ball away.
And of course, there's a bit of revenge in the air as far as Lou City are concerned, because they lost the Eastern Conference final last year to Charleston Battery. They lost 3-2 at Patriots Point earlier this year. So a team as good as Lou City doesn't like to lose matches back to back, and certainly not 3 in a row. So they'll be desperate to make sure the score stays as it is now, or even improve upon that.
Charleston unbeaten in the last 4 meetings. Lou City hasn't won since August 6th of 2022. That was a 4-1 win on this field. Charleston finding a tough time right now with possession. Graham Smith draws the foul against Wilson Harris, and he's going to be booked, and the fans will let you hear their opinion on that.
The referee, Elton Garcia, is saying that Wilson Harris used his elbow to hit Graham Smith. Need to see that again just to see whether he does or not. Yeah, he does leave his arm out there dangling, doesn't he? Have a look at his left arm. Harris, as he goes up, swings it around ahead of his body. Yeah, you can't do that. You've got to be very careful. You cannot endanger the opposition. In fact, the wording, you cannot act with disregard for the opponent, is the actual wording from the referee's handbook. I wrote it down just to be absolutely sure. And as far as Elton Garcia is concerned, there's disregard there if you lead with the hand and the elbow. So now it's 2 players in the book. And we said earlier on that yellow cards, chippiness, this match being so important, if players don't control themselves in terms of yellow cards, it could change the match. If either Wilson Harris or Amadou Dia get another yellow and go off, then that could really turn this match around in terms of who is most likely to win.
Graham Smith unloads on this ball. Adams retreats. Gives it back to Damian Loss. Very much feels like Lou City have been in control of this matchup so far. They have the goal, and they have dictated their terms so far against the Battery.
Yeah, I thought it was a good first 5 or 10 minutes for Charleston Battery, but you're right, since then the home side just begun to get on top of this game, limiting Charleston Battery's sort of possession in the Lou City half, and certainly creating chances at the other end.
Harris was the target. Segbers steps in front and then draws the foul.
See, that's a problem when you're on a yellow card. Certainly that wasn't a yellow card, but if you just leave a leg dangling, or, you know, and of course the Charleston Batteries are very well aware who's on the yellow card. They'll play to it. They'll try and get you to make a tackle and then get you to be on the receiving end of a second yellow. So for Wilson Harris, he's got to really tread so carefully, as does Amadou Dia.
Marcanic unable to pace over to get that ball. Arturo Ordonez gets there first. And Ordonez keeps it in play. It's a really good pass, but not enough on the last bit of connection there.
How good has Ordonez been this season for Danny Cruz's side. We always talk about the strikers and the goal scorers and the midfield heroes, but at the back, Sean Tosh, Arturo Ordóñez, Kyle Adams have been rock solid, but in the middle of all that is Ordóñez. What a good signing he was from Pittsburgh, and without him you can see how Pittsburgh have struggled this season. He's not the only player who's left, but I think he's one of the crucial ones for Pittsburgh.
Both sides could certainly make arguments that their center defenders are the top tier in this league. Long run here for Dia. Nobody stepping up. Dia into the 18. He goes down. Leland Archer takes it away. New City asking for a penalty. No such call. And here's Charleston breaking out. They have numbers forward. Nick Marcanic, the leading goal scorer in the league. It's Marcanic just missing it wide left. I think Loss got a piece. And the best chance for the Battery denied on a 3-on-1 break.
And what a brilliant break by Charleston Battery. It doesn't show the beginning of this, but absolutely stunning there. Marcanic just sees the angle towards the far post. I think you're right, Damian Lass does get a touch on this. Thought there was an option of a square ball to MD Myers a little bit earlier. MD Myers unmarked on the left, but Marcanic decided to go all by himself and nearly, so nearly, got Charleston Battery on level terms.
Marcanic has scored in 7 of his last 8 matches. And here in the 30th minute, it's a chance for a corner for the Battery. Arturo Rodriguez has the duties. Frisbees this ball around. Marcanic wins the header, asks for a foul.
Said there were arms all around him that made it difficult for him to head the ball. But if you watch that goal, that chance rather by Charleston Battery, how well they played through the press. Absolutely top class as we see the corner. Have a look at the holding on Marcanic there. He's got an arm around him right up until the end. Is it enough though to give a penalty? I don't think so.
Past the half-hour mark. Lou City 1, Charleston 0. The go-ahead goal, Aiden McFadden. A header off of a Ray Serrano corner in the 17th minute. And now here's Dia sprinting behind. 2-on-1 this time. Dia slams on the brakes. But the flag up here for offside in the end.
Amadou Dia had a chance to play that to Wilson Harris straight away. He's probably lucky it was given offside. And now what's going on? Offside, and then something else happened afterwards. It does look offside, to be fair. Amadou Dia should have played it early, and he doesn't, so loses possession. So he's lucky they blew up. And then something happened after this that seemed to create a bit of a problem. Did they try and take it quickly? Oh, they're saying that Grinwis actually took the ball and took the free kick rather, and he's saying, no, I was just giving it to my centre-back to take the free kick.
Elton Garcia was saying that free kick should be higher up the pitch.
But still, as a goalkeeper, don't go playing it out like that where it looks like it could be you taking the free kick.
Marcanic wins the race against Tosh. But it's handled by Tosh in the end. Fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty if the boys in purple win. No purchase necessary. The offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's location to redeem. Well, there's been a lot of Frosties this year. 16 wins for Lou City. It's the 7th time in the club history that they've hit at least 15 for a year.
You could see the passion there a few minutes ago when the referee Elton Garcia said no, that free kick hadn't been taken and it needed to be taken further up the pitch. You can see the way the Lou City players responded, shouting, getting excited, and there's a lot of passion in this match, as to be expected from the top 2 teams in the league. No doubt the crowd are doing their job of stoking things up as well. So this is, I think this is going to get just more and more exciting as the match goes on.
Will Charleston respond to falling behind in this matchup? Starting to find a little bit of a shift in the plot after that breakaway giving themselves a little bit of confidence here. Very well could be a preview of the Eastern Conference Final, albeit Tampa Bay will certainly have something to say about it in the end. Ikaza loses this ball. Well-timed slide tackle from Smith. Otherwise, Harris was in. Ikaza again. McFadden. Wilson leaves it to the top. Taylor Davila gives it right away. And a bullet dodged right there by Charleston. Very sloppy in their defense.
And you were right, there's some good defending, especially from Graham Smith. Look at the pressure that they're under. They're taking risky passes here, Charleston Battery, but once again, they're able to play out of that pressure. You always think there's an error if they keep high pressing the way they do, Lou City. You do think they're going to eventually benefit from some error somewhere. So far, though, Charleston Battery have been able to play through the high press.
Ikaza lifts it down the sideline. Segbers thought about pumping it in the first time. Instead, it's Marcanic. Marcanic shoots from distance. Excellent block in the end. Danny Cruz said that they cannot allow Nick Marcanic to be isolated. His ability to shoot from distance is great. It's all upon the players' need to have the knowledge of tendencies as Wilson Harris commits another foul.
Well, as soon as he hit Graham Smith put his hand up for a card. You can say they're targeting Wilson Harris. And now you can see Elton Garcia saying to him, look, you've got to be careful. You can't keep giving fouls away, because eventually I have to give you a yellow just for, repeated infringement. So he's warning Wilson Harris. None of these fouls have been bad, but once you're on a yellow, if you keep fouling, you're running such a risk. And as I say, Charleston Battery will target him every time.
Segbers slides back instead. It's Serrano. Choices here. Had Wilson initially and couldn't get it to him.
Listen to the crowd. They're going crazy every tackle here. The emotion out there on the pitch must be electric.
Harris on the pivot. Wilson Harris flies this over everybody.
Poor Aidan McFadden's had his hand up a few times there at the far post, just saying, I'm available. Ray Serrano didn't see him initially in that move, and then Wilson Harris decided to go for a shot instead of playing to Aidan McFadden, who, by the way, has been a player that Daniel Cruz says has been one of the best performers in his squad, so much so that they pushed Jansen Wilson up front 2 matches ago because he deserved to play, but there was no place for him as a wing-back. So they played him as a striker, and guess what? He scored in consecutive games.
Yeah, they said that Jansen Wilson has been one of the most consistent players and certainly had an argument to play more. And it's a good problem to have for Danny Cruz. Certainly dealing with the injuries as well with Jorge Gonzalez, Sam Gleadle, Brian Ownby, and Carlos Moguel Jr., who scored in the Eastern Conference Final last year. All those players injured and unavailable. It's a really good slide tackle from Arturo Ordonez, nearly given away. Winder outstretches the leg to keep it away from Marcanic. McFadden. Here is Wilson. And his sights set on Serrano, and Smith doesn't do well with it and concedes a corner, which is how Lou City scored the opener in this match.
Yep, you do sense that the Battery will be marking up a little bit tighter than they did previously. Yeah, you can actually just, you look at Adam Grimmus, he's pointing to his head to say to everyone, just be sharp. You got to stay tight, touch tight. Let's see if Ray Serrano can put another good ball into the mixer.
Another Wi-Fi corner. Serrano whips this ball all the way back, and on that first time touch, it hits the bar. What a brilliant ball that was, and Jansen Wilson nearly made it 2-0.
What a strike from Jansen Wilson. This ball's coming at him very quickly from Ray Serrano, and he hits it. And you're right, it's the outside of the post that it clips. That is ever so close to being a fantastic goal from Jansen Wilson. As mentioned, he scored in the last 2 games. Wouldn't it be incredible if he made it 3 games in a row from someone who's normally played as a wing-back, although he did play striker in college, Danny Cruz said.
Adam Grinwis had no chance at that ball, didn't even react. Wilson chases this ball. Gets this ball low, and a couple slide tackles, and fortuitously for Charleston, it's Grinwis able to grab the ball. USL Championship soccer continues on the ESPN networks in September with a Western Conference matchup of teams fighting to cross the playoff line. Last season's champ, Phoenix Rising, hosts FC Tulsa. That's Friday, September 6th, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2.
Charleston actually really battling here to get on the ball. Lou City have been dominating last 20 or 25 minutes. They've controlled this match. And those strikers, those famed strikers of Charleston Battery, are just not getting anything to work with up front. They're having to come back and do all the defending.
MD Myers has been awfully quiet of late. And Nick Marcanic just had that touch there, and he's a good 65, 70 yards away from goal. '40th minute of play. The top 2 teams in the USL Championship facing off tonight. Lou City 1, Charleston 0. Michael Watring and former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey with you this evening. Great to have you with us. Will Charleston have a response before halftime?
Here comes that high press again from Lou City. Not allowing Charleston much space in which to breathe and just waiting for one error. Cars are doing well here, but just one bad pass and Lou City are going to pounce on the edge of the box, and there they go, turnover ball already.
Tosh takes it away. 2 passes at Serrano. Closing in. Serrano blasts it high.
Frustrating for Ray Serrano. He's had a few looks at goal and hasn't really produced anything. Yes, he put the corner in for the goal, but on his own, he's had opportunities inside the box. Hasn't even made Adam Grinwis work, and that's not good enough when you've got Philip Goodrum sitting on the bench wanting to jump into your place.
5 minutes to go before halftime. 6 shots to 4 in favor of the boys in purple. The reigning Eastern Conference champion, Charleston Battery. And that one great breakaway about 10 minutes ago. Damian Loss saving Marcanic shot attempt. Otherwise, there have been very few attacking moments for the Battery this evening. Looking to make it 3 straight wins against Lou City. Winder, the last to touch. Charleston came in #1 in the league in clean sheets. Lou City #5. Allen. Segbers. Right back for Allen. Ikaza. Dos Santos. Torres. Marcanic, taken out by Tosh, gets back to his feet. And the veteran outduels the 24-year-old Golden Boot leader. A lot of possession and nothing decisive so far.
At least they're on the front foot. It's been a while since they've had this amount of possession in Lou City's half, and I think they're just getting comfortable on the ball, and just looking for a little gap.
Rodriguez. Marcanic had his back to it. Charleston exposed it all. Winder is running, waiting for some help to his left. Tug of the jersey from Ikaza. Winder flies this ball in over the head of Serrano. Dia on the second chance. Test the fan base, 10 rows up.
Elijah Winder doing so well, the physical strength to take that ball from the halfway line, protect the ball, get it into a corner, and then turn and put in a great cross, by the way. Serrano can't get to it, but Amadou Dia here just needs to get over the ball. He's leaning backwards and sticks it over the crossbar, but good ball in from Elijah Winder and great protection of the ball all the way from the halfway line.
How do you assess the opening half of play at this point?
That's been a good one for Lou City. I thought the first 5-10 minutes, Charleston Battery looked good and threatened around the edge of the box, but since then it's been a fairly dominant performance, this high press making it so difficult for Charleston to build out of the back, and certainly the busier of the two goalkeepers has been Adam Grinwis, no question about that.
There is Grinwis once more, flopping this ball back for Smith, and can Charleston get out of their own end without giving it away? Here's Archer. Segbers crosses midfield. Rodriguez. FD on the touch, takes out Davila and gives possession away.
That's the problem when you're playing against the best side in the league for Charleston Battery. They just haven't protected the ball well themselves when they got it into Lou City's half. Lou City, in fairness to them, have pounced on every loose touch to win possession back.
David Torres. There's his cross answered by Adams, poking it back for loss. Wilson fouled by Dos Santos. Stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. And the officials have added 4 minutes of first half stoppage time.
I just wonder what Ben Pearman's thinking in terms of how he changes things. Maybe not in personnel initially, obviously subs will come on second half at some stage, but is there anything he can do? Is there anything he can change to get his team more possession and more chances around that Lou City goal?
Here's Wilson once more. Wilson has space. Wilson takes a second try. Grinwis dives and punches it away. Second chance for Wilson in the first half, and this time Wilson is denied by Grinwis.
They stand off him a little bit, Charleston Battery. Unlike them, good save from the goalkeeper, Adam Grinwis. Great agility, but he comes in, Jansen Wilson, lines up. No one gets close to him. He comes in a bit more square, a bit more central. No one closes him. Eventually thinks, oh, go on, I'll have a shot then.
This corner kick bounced off the head of Ikaza. And another 5-5 corner coming for Lou City. That's how they scored in the 17th minute when Serrano connected with Aiden McFadden for McFadden's third goal of the season. Louisville has only lost once this year when they scored the opening goal in 16 tries. That was to Charleston in April. Serrano winds this ball up. Grinwis with two hands. Gets it out of the 18. Dia recycles. Back post run. Tosh! Wide right. Sean Tosh on the doorstep of making it 2-0.
And that should have been 2-0. A player as good as Sean Tosh. What a lovely ball in from Amadou Dia, but he's got up, he's got nobody on his shoulder. He's got time to pick his spot. Sean Tosh, look, there's nobody there. He's just wide of that far post, but he needs to tuck it in. In a match as tight as that, you wonder if that'll come back to haunt Sean Tosh. But nonetheless, give him credit for being in the right place at the right time, and for the cross from Amadou Dia.
Chances just continue for Lou City. They have their eyes set on some USL records, including goals. 32 off the pace with 12 to go. Their goal scoring average is right there with what Phoenix did back in 2019. Cruz having a chat with our fourth official this evening.
Well, they always say when you're on top and you get chances to put a team down, take those chances, obviously, because you make a 2-0, it's very difficult for the Battery to come back. But at 1-0, they get an equalizer, maybe second half, and then Lou City might be fighting just to get a point in this game. And having dominated the majority of this first half, I think Danny Cruz will feel, yeah, I'm happy with 1-0, but I think we deserved to at least get a second. And that Sean Tosh opportunity was the perfect one. You feel fall into the perfect person, because Sean Tosh is a fantastic header of the ball. Just can't quite bury it in the corner for some reason. That's a great opportunity Ghana begging.
This is a poor giveaway. Jansen Wilson blasts the ball off the backside of Graham Smith. And he's frustrated, is Graham Smith.
But we said at some point they're going to give the ball away. Emilio Ikaza here, terrible ball. And that's the one that high press was waiting for. That's the mistake. And the shot from Jansen Wilson just going off the back of a Charleston Battery player, unfortunately for Lou City.
It's Taylor Davila with this Wi-Fi corner. Doesn't get it past the initial line of defense. And there's your first half whistle. A strong performance from Lou City. That's a 1-0 lead at halftime against the USL Championship's top two teams. Aiden McFadden, his third goal of the season, has the difference maker at this point. Off of a corner kick, winning the header in the 17th minute. And Lou City, 45 minutes away from a 5-match winning streak for the first time in 2 years. An excellent start for Lou City. Will Charleston have a rebuttal in half number 2? 45 minutes down, Lou City 1, Charleston 0 here in Kentucky.
You ready to lose?
Oh, you wish. Let's go.
It's time to power up your old checking account. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union created Power Checking. This incredible all-in-one account powers your spending, and with built-in high-yield savings, grows your balance at the same time. No minimums, no limits, just unparalleled benefits.
Best 2 out of 3.
Let's go.
Get to the next level with Power Checking, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Ending breast cancer isn't a journey we take alone. It takes a community working together to make a real difference. Local events through Susan G. Komen demonstrate the strength of our community. Together, we help fund groundbreaking research, provide vital care, and support patients every step of the way.
Join WDRB on October 12th at the More Than Pink Walk at Louisville Slugger Field. Register at WDRB.com and click on Komen Cancer Walk in the Community tab.
How do you get your news?
Is WDRB the soundtrack to your morning routine?
Or you can scroll on the go with the WDRB News app.
If you've already cut the cord, start streaming our news on WDRB+.
Maybe you like to read a more in-depth story and you use WDRB.com.
When weather's the biggest story of your day, the WDRB Weather app has video forecasts and radar.
However you choose to get your news, WDRB is the source.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on. There you go.
Whoa.
Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
Get an adventurous new 24 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid with 4.99 APR financing, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $339 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
A 2023 Eastern Conference final rematch sees Lou City out in front 1-0 at halftime. Michael Watrang and Gary Bailey back with you. Last week, it was quite the showdown. Lou City got off to a great start against Sacramento Republic. Wilson Harris scored in the opening 10 minutes of the match, and this would be a seesaw affair against Sac Republic.
Certainly was, because Taylor Davila gets a second here, and you're thinking, okay, this is one-way traffic, number 1 in the East versus number 2 in the West, but how good was Sac Republic getting back here? Nick Ross gets one, and that's the beginning of a very quick turnaround.
Ross in the 52nd, Kieran Phillips in the 55th, and then Nick Ross put Sac Republic ahead in the 59th minute. But then Jansen Wilson roofed this ball in the 66th minute, and Lou City would win the match in the 4th minute of stoppage time.
Look at the back heel from Sean Tosh of all people. Seriously, that's a fantastic back heel. Wilson Harris says, thank you very much. Ficciello, no chance whatsoever.
A brace for Wilson Harris, and Lou City wins it in stoppage time. The upcoming schedule for Louisville, they'll be on the road for 4 of the next 5 matches, with the lone home match being against Loudoun in September. And we'll see what they can do on the road this season as they travel to Hartford on Sunday. That's next Sunday, 8 days from now after this matchup, then to North Carolina right after that. Conversely, for Charleston, their upcoming stretch looks like this. They're back at home against Orange County, and then a couple trips to the West Coast against San Antonio and Colorado Springs, and then circle that matchup there with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay just lurking in 3rd in the Eastern Conference. And can the Rowdies close the gap just a little bit in the Eastern Conference table? Score in Louisville shows the boys in purple 1 and the Battery 0 at halftime. More to come when we come back around the corner.
His birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Numbers are brilliant here for Phoenix. Can they find their second right here? Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a goal. What is the Lasso?
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Lease a stylish new 24 Corolla for $239 a month. Get the all-new, all-hybrid Camry with 5.25 APR financing, or lease this Camry for $319 a month.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota, let's go places.
Back here in Louisville as the top 2 teams in the USL Championship face off. Aiden McFadden's goal in the 17th minute. Have Lou City out in front 1-0. News and notes from around the USL Championship. Oakland Roots has signed a 1-year lease to play the 2025 season at the historic Oakland Coliseum. Lexington Sporting Club has announced that they'll join the USL Championship from League One in 2025. And the July Player of the Month is Johan Penaranda from FC Tulsa, rather. 3 clean sheets in 4 matches as FC Tulsa is back into postseason contention at this point in the year. Scores from around the league as it sits right now. Well, Loudoun is out in front of Tampa Bay. Wesley Leggett continues his strong start to this season with another goal. Tampa Bay is down to 10 men. Blake Bodley just picking up his second yellow card in that matchup. Hartford 2-1 leaders against Las Vegas. It's tied at 1 with about 20 minutes to go between Pittsburgh and Colorado Springs. Rhode Island trails Oakland by a 1-0 tally, and Detroit City out in front of, or check that they win against Birmingham 1-0 in a match earlier today. And what's coming up down the pike as well, it's San Antonio and North Carolina later tonight, New Mexico, Monterey Bay as well, and then the late game tonight is Orange County and El Paso. Team of the week for week 23, well, you can pretty much pencil in Wilson Harris and Nick Marcanic anytime they put these together, but there's Juan David Torres as well for Charleston. And the team of the week, who we buy, the coach of the week, North Carolina FC's John Bradford, getting that team into playoff contention as well. Second half is coming your way when we return. We'll have the highlights in the second half kickoff with Louisville out in front, 1-0 against Charleston.
At Toyota's national sales event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Extend your summer vacation in a roomy new Highlander Hybrid. Now get up to $1,000 APR cash on a new 24 Highlander, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the third health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I finally feel in control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Savings like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Lease a dynamic new 24 Tacoma for $349 a month. Get a new 24 Tundra with 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today. Ooh, like.
Toyota, let's go places.
Lou City with a 1-0 advantage against Charleston Battery after 45 minutes of play. Louisville unbeaten in their last 15 when they lead at the half. Michael and Gary back with you as we take a look at the first half highlights. Ben Pierman was worried about handling Lou City's restarts. Well, his nightmare happened in the 17th minute. Off of a corner, Aiden McFadden scoring the opener.
He gets up so well, Aiden McFadden. Just gets in front there of Leland Archer. He needed to stay a little bit closer, but rather give Aiden McFadden the credit, because not only does he get there first, he turns his head, he directs that ball right into the corner with pace and power, and giving Adam Grimwas no chance whatsoever.
And a good start for Lou City, but they were exposed in the 29th minute in transition. How about this 3-on-1 chance that nearly put Charleston on the board?
Oh, beautifully played out of defense, and you're right, they had the numbers there. I just thought Marcanic could have got JD Myers in a little bit quicker, MD Myers in a little bit quicker there. Just at that point there, first time he holds on to it, the gap closes, he tries himself, and maybe credit to Damian Lust for a really good save there from Nick Marcanic.
Got the right hand to it to keep it out. In the 38th minute, yet again, a corner kick causing issues.
Well, this is a good strike. This is not an easy thing to do. Ray Serrano hammers the ball in there, and Jansen Wilson hits that first time just off the outside of the post.
Wilson played quite the role in the opening 45 minutes, had another shot on target late in the first half. And this is how things look at the end of one. Possession in favor of Charleston, but a lot of that possession has been under pressure defensively. Much more shots for Lou City, and Charleston needs to get something going in the attack as they trail 1-0.
Yeah, they certainly do. They've got to make a change. I just wonder if you don't go more route one. They're trying to play through the press, and they're finding it very difficult. Lou City doing a great job just boxing them into their third of the pitch. And maybe you look at long balls and say, you know what, let's just knock it over up to MD Myers. Let's try and pick up the knockdowns. Let's get in their half and play in Lou City's half of the pitch. That's one option. Let's wait and see what Ben Pearman comes up with.
Just the third time this year that Charleston trails at halftime. In their previous two, a win and a draw. Charleston is making one change. Jay Chapman is replacing Emilio Icaza. Chapman, who was acquired on loan for the rest of the season about 15 days ago, replaces Icaza. That's your only change here of this second half.
Yeah, he was at Hartford earlier in the season, as was a number of, I think Prince Sadie originally was at Hartford, then he went to Rhode Island, but there's obviously a connection here with some of these players, and they brought Jay Chapman in. He's experienced, he's physically stronger. Ben Pearman might need him. If they are going to go more direct, they might need him in the team just purely for his size. Or maybe they just feel that Emilio Icaza just gave the ball away a few times too many there when he was under pressure.
Second half underway here on Fill the Fam night in Louisville, Kentucky. The boys in purple, Lou City leads it 1-0 in a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference final. With Gary Bailey and our crew, Michael Watring inviting you to come hang out with us the rest of the evening to see who is the best team in the USL Championship at this point. Harris pokes it. Diaz sends it right back through. Serrano gets to it, and he'll be called for a handball.
Yeah, another good little move from Lou City there. Whipped that ball across the box. All sorts of panic from Charleston Battery, and in the end, unfortunately, it hits Ray Serrano's hand. But again, Jansen Wilson, look at the ball he puts in at the near post. Wilson Harris doesn't get it. Amadou Diaz just recycles it back. And unfortunately for Ray Serrano, it just hits his hand. But immediately out the gates, Lou City on the front foot.
Well, the 16 goals that Lou City has allowed at home this season, 10 have come in the second half. Torres chases. Tosh knocks it away. And McFadden glides it up the field. Winder hustles, unable to get there. Charleston side that came in averaging nearly 3 goals per match in their last 8. Struggling to find goal-scoring chances, just 4 shots in the first half. But they have struggled on the road. Just 1.38 goals per road match, 18 total this season.
Yeah, not the best on the road, Charleston Battery. Not bad, but it's not the best. One thing about these two teams recently, they've been scoring a ton of goals in the second half. 7 goals in the last 2 matches for Charleston Battery in the second half. And Lou City Sac Republic, 6 of the 7 were in the second half. So maybe we're in for a whole bunch of goals to come in the next 40-odd minutes.
Torres chips this in. It's over Marcanic and handled by Damian Loss. Well, something had to give tonight. These two teams stout defensively. 2 of the best at keeping clean sheets, top 5 in the league each, but also the top 2 goal scoring teams by a wide margin this year.
Yeah, certainly they didn't create too much first half. Expected goals 0.42 for Lou City.
Ooh, Serrano plays it. Archer gets back to it. Segbers knocks it away. And Serrano gets called for the foul. It's fine work by Archer in the end as Serrano had found some empty space.
Again, it's well done to Serrano for getting on the end of a chance, but it's another chance he doesn't do anything with. And again, I wouldn't pick it out so often, except that Philip Goodrum's on the bench and you're playing for your spot. It's really between, I would think, Jansen Wilson and Ray Serrano. And so far, Jansen Wilson is the one who seems to be threatening more than Ray Serrano has been.
Jay Chapman called for the foul, and that will be a free kick for Lou City.
So by the way, to finish at expected goals, 0.42 for the home side, just 0.13 for Charleston Bantry. Scoring goals for fun normally, and hardly making a dent on the opportunities there against Damien Luss. He had a pretty relaxed first 45 minutes, the Lou City keeper.
This free kick brought to you by Fifth Third. Serrano slides it into the 18. Marcanic knocks it away. Wilson retreats, ships it back in. Winder, second ball's going to Lou City right now. Not done yet with this attack. Wilson doesn't get the angle on it, but it was poked in the end. On a good run by Arturo Ordonez.
But again, first 5 minutes of the second half, it's been the home side whipping balls into the box, asking questions. And I'm sure Adam Grimwis would like to see his strikers start creating opportunities at the other end. You can see how deep they've have to come back, Nick Marcanic. And he and MD Myers and Juan David Torres have spent most of this match defending, which is not what Bim Pearman wants. It's not their core skill. Their core skill is scoring goals, and when you got them back defending, they're not doing anything to hurt the opposition. You want them getting ball in the opposition half. Let's see what they can do now.
Allen sets up Dos Santos. Rodriguez. Dos Santos spins through two. And it's last touch by Dos Santos in the end, and the defending again comfortable and confident from Lou City.
Yeah, no end product from Dos Santos. I mean, he does well to bomb down that left-hand side, but I'm saying, is there anyone you could play the ball to in the middle? Indeed, Myers once again just standing there waiting for some sort of service.
Serrano able to get the angle around Segbers. Pretty good work right there by the 28-year-old from St. Louis. Now Marcanic. Rodriguez. Bumps Winder off the ball. Arturo Rodriguez. Adams, a good chase back to step in front of Marcanic.
Tries to find Marcanic. MD Myers is the near post saying, what about me? He just can't get any service at the moment. Have a look. Rodriguez has got two options. Plays Marcanic, and MD Myers is there, hands out saying, I'm free and I'm closer to goal. And he was in front of Sean Tosh as well, so he would have got the ball. So MD Myers just not getting any service as yet, but it could all change in an instant.
Only had 6 touches in the first half. David Torres, 23-year-old Colombian, ready to set up this corner kick, but not before. Elton Garcia heads into a conglomerate, break things up.
You can see what Charleston Bantry are trying to do in front of Damien Luss, is just get bodies in there and not allow Damien a chance to run at the ball. Of course, what the defenders are trying to do is push them out away. Ordonez is pushing in one direction, they're stepping back. As a goalkeeper, I found it very annoying that attackers were allowed to come in and block my space, because you know full well what they're doing. They're not allowing you a run at the ball. But it's legal, and so you always get this pushing and shoving at most corners.
How do you combat that?
Well, they're trying to. They're pushing and shoving, but the referee's got to step in. It's a tough one for a keeper. And let's just see if the ball's put in on Damien Luss. He's going to find it very difficult to get a run and a punch at this.
Torres boomerangs the ball in, and before it even gets there, we get a foul.
Well, that's exactly why you bring attention to all the pushing and shoving, in the hope the referee spots it and gives it against the strikers.
Now it will be a booking as well. Leland Archer having a word with Elton Garcia behind the play.
Yeah.
And Mark Segbers will get one as well.
Well, we spoke first half about controlling your emotions, and there were 2 Lou City players on yellow cards, which was to the advantage of Charleston Battery. In an instant, they've given away 2 yellows just from mouthing off. Why? You don't have to do that. The referee's given his decision. Keep your mouth shut, get on with the game. Now you're level. They both got 2 yellow cards. No advantage anymore to Charleston Battery. But if you're doing it to stop someone building or someone making a run at your defense, I get it. It's a tactical yellow card. But just for mouthing off at the ref, really? But that's the emotion of these sort of games. It's not always easy to keep those emotions in check.
Charleston certainly understand as well. Having played 2 more games than Louisville at this point, being a point behind in this sequence as well. The foul is whistled against Arturo Rodriguez. This is really one of their last-ditch efforts to try to get on top of Lou City down the stretch. Otherwise, they'll need a boatload of help and great performances to be able to win the Shield as well as take the #1 spot in the East.
Exactly, your point's 100% correct. It's Charleston Battery have to come out and make it happen. Normally it's the home side who have to, but Lou City is sitting comfortable on top.
Yes. Harris too strong on that touch.
Yeah, and they're saying, hey, we're on top of the league. We're the ones with games in hand. We're the ones 1-0 up. If you want to get something out of this, you best come at us. And just finding it so difficult to do, Charleston Battery. But maybe that's just huge credit to Lou City for closing them down, winning more 50-50s, and just generally being on top throughout the 56 minutes we've had so far.
Will Charleston find an answer here? It's a good ball around. The flag goes up for offside. Well, the tandem of Nick Marcanic and MD Myers have been held in check. Between the two, 32 goals. That's more than 15 of the teams in the league. But they've been silenced so far tonight for the most part.
Wow, what a combination they have been, though. Absolutely brilliant. I'm just looking at the subs, thinking it's probably going through both coaches' minds now what changes, and Ben Pearman, the pressure on him to make change. I haven't seen much from Juan David Torres. Just wondering if you take him off and bring on Prince Sadie's pace, maybe, or Jackson Conway as a finisher, just to try and get your team back on level terms, because they have to do something, Charleston, and unless they can get a goal here, of course.
Well, there is Juan David Torres in space. Heard his name called. Torres bounces it off of Loss, and Adams trickles it away. It was a solid strike from Juan David Torres.
Well, this is the way to stay on the pitch and not get substituted, is actually have an impact on the game. He's a bit of an angle. Difficult to beat Damian Lust, but certainly hit it with pace and forced the keeper into a good save.
Signs of life from the battery. Arturo Rodriguez goes to the corner flag. Rodriguez winds this ball up. Glanced off of the head of Jay Chapman.
It's unfortunate for Charleston Battery. If you win the ball at the near post, there's every chance that you get a second header, but it just flew past everybody else in a white shirt. And Lou City got away with that one.
Charleston bringing a little bit of its pressure down now. Here's Adams with green grass in front. Amadou Dia charges. Dia. Archer pokes it away. Here's Wilson again. Wilson shoots! And it just does trickle wide left in the end.
Does so well again here. Jansen Wilson, good striker of a ball that's just not far wide. They're saying the keeper got a touch. Hard to see, to be honest. But Jansen Wilson, every time he gets on the ball, he does look so good around the fringes. Such a talented player. And it might have found the right groove for him as an attacker, as opposed to an attacking full-back.
Marcanic looks to do something individually now. Two defenders pay their attention to him. Now Allen stretches the field to the left. Santos right back for Allen. Here's Chapman in a pocket. Torres. Arturo Rodriguez. Torres once more. Juan David Torres. Might have taken a deflection from Davila.
Oh, I thought it did. I thought it took a clear deflection. You could see by the way the ball moved that it took a deflection. Unlucky there, Charleston.
Well, it's going to be Philip Goodrum making his debut with Lou City, the largest intra-league transfer fee in history, signed to a multi-year deal as well. Replaces Wilson Harris, and Danny Cruz said that this is not a guy that opponents want to play against, and when you have to chase Wilson Harris for an hour and then deal with Philip Goodrum for 30 minutes, what a challenge this will be, as the substitution brought to you by Fortna.
Interesting that he takes Wilson Harris off, keeps the same shape, just replaces a number 9 for a number 9, so to speak. I thought he might have kept Wilson Harris on, put Philip Goodrum with him, but maybe he feels comfortable with the shape they've got and doesn't want to tamper with it.
Goodrum chases this ball down and promptly leads his team to a corner kick. Danny Cruz said that what he loves about Goodrum the most is he's a pest. Has the same mentality on both sides of the ball.
Oh, he's a pest, all right. He gets in defenders' faces, no question about it. But he's the sort of player you always want on your team rather than against you. And of course, back in 2022 for Memphis was the joint Golden Boot winner. So he scores a ton of goals, Philip Goodrum.
Here's this corner kick in. Bounces off a defender. It's loose in the 18 and finally shipped away. Davila. Tosh gets a piece. Ordonez curls it wide. Charleston making a change now. Prince Sadie replaces Arturo Rodriguez, so they do bring in Sadie. 31-year-old from Liberia, acquired by Charleston at the end of June.
Yeah, he was at Rhode Island and just didn't quite impact enough. That was at Hartford before that, but he has pace, and that's why I thought they might bring him on. They just need something different up front, Charleston Battery, and they've decided to keep Juan David Torres on and take off an attacking midfielder for someone who can run at the defense. So maybe a little bit lighter in midfield now, Charleston Battery. Juan David Torres might have to drop back a little bit more and do some work, but the pace of Prince Sadie could be exactly what Charleston Battery need to create a couple of chances.
Charleston have been a little bit more attacking here in the second half, trailing Lou City 1-0. Aiden McFadden's header off of a corner kick in the 17th minute is the difference. Michael Watra and Gary Bailey and our team with you here in Louisville for this battle of the top two teams in the USL Championship. And Goodrum immediately draws a foul. Graham Smith joins the yellow card barrage for Charleston defenders here.
By the way, I think it was Taylor Davila won a fantastic tackle just before that to win the ball. There's that tackle that he wins. And then Goodrum just gets to the ball first and draws the yellow card from Graham Smith. Good play there from Philip Goodrum. Good play all round from Lou City.
Yellow card brought to you by Bone Dry Roofing. So Smith, Archer, and Segbers all have yellows along that back line within the span of 10 minutes. Serrano and Davila. Davila Winder. Davila wide. Amadou Dia. High arcing around. Ordonez the closest to it. Seydi carries it away from defenders and unable to hold on to it along the sideline.
A clever little free kick they tried there, Lou City. A couple of touches, switching across the left and switching it back over deep to the far post. Didn't quite come off, but I like their thinking. They're trying something really creative. But there's a few people watching him for the first time going, Philip Goodrich, what's he doing at Lou City? He has moved around a little bit, FC Tulsa, and before that, he was at Memphis.
Started his career with Atlanta United 2. He had just 6 goals in 34 appearances, but since that point, he's second in the league with 38 goals in the last 3 years. Ordonez cycles that over his head, and now it's a giveaway. Seydi left, Marcanic in the middle. Juan David Torres bounces it off of a defender. Always ambitious from that range, but does get his team a corner kick here in the end.
The option of Prince Seydi left, who had a bit of green grass ahead of him and decides to try and take the shot from 30 yards, long way out. Just thought he should have used the pace of Prince Seydi, perhaps.
Another corner kick opportunity here for Charleston, looking to make something happen. Trailing by a goal in this clash of the two best that the USL Championship has to offer. Team with 3 second-half shots so far. Chapman hits this ball back post. Juan David Torres volleys it away. The USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League this August, and it all started tonight. 8 teams across the country, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock. Congratulations to Carolina Ascent. Vicky Bruce, 27th minute goal, the first ever goal in the history of the Super League, and it propels Carolina Ascent over DC Power. Spokane Zephyr and Fort Lauderdale United just underway as well. And you watch the Super League all year long on Peacock. Amadou Dia charges forward. Segbers does well, but loses it. And then there's a foul, and the fans will certainly let their voices heard.
I'm not so sure it was a foul, but Amadou Dia doing well there just to get back on. He's already on a yellow card. You don't want to get into an argument with the ref. Just accept the decision, move on. So the right thing to do. Have a look here. He loses the ball then, but then, or maybe he does catch the back of, to be fair, maybe he does catch the back of Segber's foot, and that's why there's a free kick.
Davila sprints away. Taylor Davila on a knuckling bouncer. Grinwis has to get both hands to it to angle it out.
Good shot from Davila under all sorts of pressure. Good save from the goalkeeper, Adam Grinwis. Just keeping his team in the match at 1-0. It just takes one moment for Charleston Battery to get an equalizer. Takes a deflection as well, that shot, so the goalkeeper doing well to read the deflection and just parry it away from sneaking into that far corner.
Now Davila will head over there to take this corner kick. Curls this ball in. Chapman wins the initial ball. Dia tries to head it over there, and it will reach its target, and Davila lifts it back along. Winder runs out of real estate. What can Charleston do now to try to get that equalizer? As you mentioned, it's still just 1-0 in the end.
Certainly is, and as I said, last couple of games they've scored. In fact, when they beat Indy 5-0 at home, they scored all 5 in the second half. So they can pace themselves. They can find late goals when they need to. Robbie Crawford scoring in the 95th minute, the 5th goal against Indy. So they'll keep fighting right to the end. I think that's something that Ben Pearman spoke about his side. He said they just keep going, they keep battling. He said he loves their mentality.
Juan David Torres shoots this ball out. Marcanic misses the net. The Golden Boot leader, the best goal scorer in North America, had space. He does not miss the target all that frequently, but misses here.
It's a good chance. He's got time. His first touch kills the ball. He's got time to measure that far post. And you're right, a player as good as him with time on the ball should have hit target. That's a really, really good chance. The chance they've been waiting for, Charleston Battery, to get back on level terms.
Everybody in Louisville held their breath for a moment.
We spoke about Sean Tosh's chances before halftime. That header from 4 or 5 yards out that really should have, if not hit the back, certainly have caused Adam Grimmis all sorts of problems. Missed that opportunity, and you say, well, against a team as good as Charleston, if you don't take the good chances that come, you might pay in the end.
Myers, Juan David Torres. Excellent work defensively there. A foul and a booking as well this time around. In the middle of the field, just as Goodrum was turning the tide. It's Chapman picking up a yellow. He's the 4th man on the field with 20 minutes to go for the Battery in the books.
Let's have a look and see if he wins the ball. I thought he won the ball without getting the player. Have a look there. Does he get the ball and the ball brings down the player? That would be his complaint, Jay Chapman. There's been some borderline decisions, and you can't go against the referee, Elton Garcia. He gets one quick look at it, got to make a call. Not easy. But sometimes the yellow card, a free kick perhaps, but a yellow card, it just feels a bit harsh.
Cards brought to you by Bone Dry Roofing. With 20 minutes remaining in this battle of 2 USL Championship titans. It's Lou City 1, Charleston 0. The top 2 goal-scoring teams in the league have just one combined tonight. That was Aiden McFadden's header off of a Ray Serrano corner in the 17th minute. Michael Watring, Gary Bailey, and our team with you here in Louisville. It's great to have you with us tonight. Lou City, the best goal-scoring team. Charleston, number 2. Lou City averages nearly 4 goals per match at home. Charleston, nearly 3 overall this season. Charleston have never won in Louisville in 9 prior trips. They've only taken points in 3 of the first 9. Lou City trying to hold down this Butchertown fortress. Davila springs this ball forward. It's Serrano latching onto it. Archer defends well. Allows his team to recover. Dio. And a foul whistled. Goodrum this time around is the guilty party.
This could still have a surprise ending to it. It's sitting on a bit of a knife edge. And again, I think it's credit to 2 fantastic young managers in Danny Cruz and Ben Pearman. They've both got an over 50% win record. And if you look at Ben Pearman, when he took over Charleston Battery, they were bottom in the East. He took them right to the top, won the East, and only lost in the championship final on penalties. So what a job he's done at Charleston Battery. And Danny Cruz, again, has just built a fabulous team here at Lynn Family Stadium.
Tosh is called for the foul. Last year's Charleston team, the greatest turnaround in championship history in terms of points, and then reaching the final. They beat Lou City on their home pitch. Charleston's home pitch, that is. 2-1 in the Eastern Conference final last year. 2 changes for Louisville. Wes Sharpie and Adrian Perez come in. Serrano and Dia come out.
Dia, one of those on a yellow card, so that was also a sensible sub to make.
So now nobody on the field for Lou City. Has a caution. Meanwhile, 4 for Charleston do.
Quality players as well. Adrian Perez, Wes Sharpie. The depth, and Philip Goodrum already coming on. The depth of quality they have on their bench, Lou City, is exceptional.
Well, MD Myers has his shift come to a close. Goals in back-to-back games, one of the top 5 goal scorers in the league. Has to come out of this match, and it's Jackson Conway that replaces him in the 11. All this leading up to a free kick here for the Battery, looking to equalize. Jay Chapman hovers. Chapman hits this to the back post, and nobody will be close in the end.
It's a little bit too much on it there from Jay Chapman. There were 3 white shirts at the far post, but they just couldn't get on the end of it. I don't think Damien Luss in too much of a hurry to get things going here, but I think the referee warned him last time. So be careful not to take too much time over this goal kick, otherwise he'll end up with a yellow.
With a quarter hour to go in this contest. Charleston behind by a goal. They haven't been shut out since June 22nd. It was actually during a run where they were shut out in 4 straight matches. Since that point, 8 consecutive games with at least 2 goals. But tonight, haven't been able to find one, despite 6 second-half shots. They have been able to excel down the stretch. They've scored 5 times after the 86th minute this year.
Yep, they certainly have, but then so too has Lou City scored a whole bunch of goals late, especially in the last match against Sac Republic. 94th minute was the Wilson Harris winner. That's why I say it's sitting on a knife edge. It could be Lou City break away and get a second. It could be Charleston who grab an equalizer, or we could remain as we are. So it's all hinging on just who pops up with something brilliant in the moment.
And this is a good turn. Adrian Perez. Looking for choices. Leland Archer tugs his jersey, and this allows Lou City an excellent attacking spot, and Archer commits that foul. He's already on a yellow card.
Exactly, and he did pull him back. Leland Archer, you're risking a second yellow. I don't know what happened there to that. It was a free kick for Lou City, and suddenly ends up with Charleston Battery. But it's worth taking a few risks now if you're Charleston Battery. 1-0 down, what, 13 odd minutes and a few added on. Got to try and break down that Lou City defense, and the only way to do it, I would think, is push bodies forward, get the ball wide, whip in some crosses, see what happens. Here we go, down the flank now to try and get ball into the box.
One thing we haven't mentioned tonight, Charleston playing without Aaron Malloy, who leads the league in chances created this season. We'll miss some extended time for the Battery. And that's a key piece that not out of the group tonight.
Yeah, I guess both teams can point to crucial players they're missing. I think Brian Ownby is one of those ultra special players that they've missed for most of the season, the boys in purple.
Segbers. Here's Jackson Conway. Conway. Marcanic gets shoved. Was asking for a penalty. There is no call. Elton Garcia has only given 3 penalty kicks this year in the 10 matches he's officiated.
Yeah, I think you have to be stronger than that in the box to get a penalty. But there was a little bit of a shove, so you know, you got to be careful as well if you're defending, not to give the referee a chance to give a penalty. But for me, penalties have to be clear and obvious, not iffy. So Elton Garcia not interested there in blowing the whistle.
Winder, nobody near him. Elijah Winder blasts this ball. And it misses.
Bit of recrimination amongst Charleston Battery. They're all looking at each other saying, who was marking him? He's free. 35 or 30 yards out, he's free, gets a chance to have a shot on goal. And certainly Leland Archer and Graham Smith looking accusingly at their midfield in front of them.
Here's Prince Sadie. Sadie thought about charging forward. Davila bumps him. Chapman. Juan David Torres. Here's Marcanic, and he's unable to hold on to it. Holds his left ankle as well. Fans, it's time to vote for tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now on the Lou City app. Here's Chapman. Flips this ball in. Nobody there for the second for Charleston. '80th minute. Lou City 1, Charleston 0. Will this be another classic finish in the USL Championship between the best two sides to this point in the league? Time to watch Gary Bailey riding out this one with you here tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm just thinking a draw might be okay for Charleston. They'll still be a point behind. Lou City will still have 2 games in hand, but this loss puts Lou City 4 points clear, and here's trouble. Offside.
Wilson was springing to action. He would have had a breakaway. He's arguing that he was on the other half of the field when that happened, but nope. That ball hit, and Wilson was well beyond the midfield line.
And that's what they're trying to do, Lou City, as Charleston Battery throw more bodies forward, catch on the counter attack. And you've got, with Jansen Williams Wilson rather, and of course Philip Goodrum, you've got 2 wonderful players on the counter attack if you can get them the right ball to get behind the defense of Charleston Battery.
Louisville much more willing to defend now with less than 10 minutes or so left. Davila, that's a well-timed run. Wilson out in space. Jansen Wilson sizzles this ball past Grinwis. Jansen Wilson finally gets his goal. Lou City out in front, 2-0.
Brilliantly taken by Jansen Wilson. He's been looking for that counter-attack possibility for the last 5 or 10 minutes as Charleston have been coming at Lou City and taking risks. He's been waiting for that ball through, and he got it, kept his cool, waited for the keeper to come off the line and beat him. But let's give credit for that ball there from Davila. Absolutely fantastic ball. He knew what he was looking for. Jansen Wilson provided the outlet, and Adam Grimwis could do nothing to stop them from going 2-0 up. And that should be game, set, and match for Lou City. Charleston Battery had to take risks, and they've paid the price.
Wilson, his 6th of the year. And for the 12th straight match at home, Lou City have scored multiple goals. And on top of that, Wilson sees his shift come to an end. Wilson is out, as well as Winder, replaced by Dylan Maris and Niall McCabe. And then 2 changes for Charleston as well. Robbie Crawford is in, replacing Mark Segbers. And then Samuel Bayek replaces Leland Archer.
That could be it. That goal could have decided exactly where the Players' Shield goes to this year. It would be a real surprise, assuming this result holds, that Lou City give up a 4-point gap with 2 games in hand over Charleston Battery, and you cannot see New Mexico or even Tampa Bay Rowdies catching up their big gap. So You might look back as this being the defining moment when Lou City got their hands at last on a player's shield. Of course, they could go on a bad run, but you can't see it with this squad and the talent they have. I think this is proof that they're going to be the champions in terms of the player's shield anyway this year.
They've never won it despite all their success. The two-time cup winners looking for maybe a third now. Niall McCabe has been with the team since the inception back in 2015. Sharpie taken out. Jansen Wilson, who grew up in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, went to school at Belmont, has now scored in 3 consecutive matches.
Yeah, just the 3 matches in which he's been played up front, and he scored in all 3. I think that's the sort of striker you keep on the team, no matter what. Now, add him to Wilson Harris and Philip Goodrum. Wow. What an attacking front 3 you've got.
And what a performance it has been tonight from Louisville. Charleston have had a couple chances. I mean, there haven't been a lot, but the best goal scorer in North America this year, Nick Marcanic, has had a breakaway and another chance where he was unmarked in the 18. One was saved by loss, one he missed the target entirely.
Yeah, that was the one that you fancied him to score, and he would have and has done in the past. That would have been 1-1 and then a different game. Charleston Battery wouldn't have had to take risks up front as much as they've done and leave gaps. But he didn't take the chance, and that's what the game's all about.
Goodrum pounds this ball into the net. Philip Goodrum torches the threads in his Lou City debut. And the boys in purple soaring. The top team in the league will hold that vice grip. It's 3-0.
That's why they wanted to sign this guy. He is one of the top strikers, as we mentioned, joint Golden Boot winner in 2022 with Memphis. And he scored a whole ton of goals this season with FC Tulsa, but this lovely ball in. And the way he kills it with his chest, it lays it, and then absolutely thumps that past Adam Grinwas. That's the finish of a class striker, knew exactly what he had to do and did it to perfection. Wow, what a signing Lou City have made. What a team they are, and what a day for the boys in purple.
Goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery. The debut for Philip Goodrum, 26 minutes into his shift. Hits the net. 3 more goals tonight for a team that averages just shy of 4 per home match. The all-time record for goal scoring is 89. And with, what, 11 matches remaining, they need 29 to get there. That's right around their season average for goal scoring. And that mark within reach, perhaps, for Louisville. And things have gotten away here from Charleston on the road.
They have, and credit to Charleston Battery. At 1-0, they took some risks. They pushed some bodies up front. They brought on Prince Sadie as an extra striker that left them a bit more vulnerable in midfield. And, you know, they've paid the price, but Lou City have made them pay the price with beautiful balls into their strikers, lovely counter-attacks. And they've just done it the way you would plan it. When teams attack you and leave gaps, that's how you would plan it. It very rarely comes off, but, wow, both those last 2 goals, Jansen Wilson and Philip Goodrum, clinical finishing.
All-time record for goals per game is Phoenix's 2.62. Lou City entered the night 2.59. And it's the 17th time this year with at least 2. It's the 10th time with at least 3. And they will be 10-0 now when they score 3 or more. Charleston trying to get something out of this on a Paul looking for Sadie. It's headed away, and then Dylan Maris flies it out. Crawford looks for the throw.
The pressure from Lou City in terms of a high press or even here in a defensive press, just fantastic. The way they've won the ball back time and time again from Charleston Battery. They've won it in midfield to set up those last 2 goals. It's just been a masterclass in how to press the ball and how to get turnover ball. And Charleston Battery are very good at themselves, so they have been outmastered, if that's the right word, by Lou City here tonight.
This ball bounces. Conway unable to get there. Loss pokes this ball out. Well, Damian Loss has put together quite the performance this evening.
Positive save from the keeper there, nice and brave.
Tonight's Lynn family sports vision and training man of the match is Aiden McFadden. His opening goal put Lou City out in front, 1-0. 4 minutes of stoppage time presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport.
We saw Jack Harlow earlier, the new part owner of Lou City. I'm sure he's going to be a very happy man tonight with what he's seen. That ball way over the top. Always nice when you buy into a consortium that is just becoming more and more successful. And the fans as well are loving it, loving all these moments. Glorious times at the moment there at Lynn Family Stadium.
Official attendance tonight announced at 13,526. That's the largest to watch a game in the USL Championship this year.
I think that's just a little bit short of their all-time record, isn't it?
Yeah, the all-time record 14,673 in the first Fill the Fam night a couple of years ago against Tampa. Another strong showing here for the Louisville fan base as well as the club. Sadie denied on the first pass entry. Wants a second go at it. Tosh heads it away. All the way out it comes, and this long whistling shot hits the net. What a blast that was from Graham Smith. His second goal of the season gets rid of the shutout.
Credit Charleston Battery for keep on going right to the end. Frustration for Damian Lassier. This ball headed out. They're asking for a foul on the edge of the box. Not given. Good strike from Graham Smith, by the way. But Philip Goodrum goes down. He claims it should be a free kick. Not given. You got to play on. And Graham Smith shows the wonderful strikers in his team who haven't been able to score today exactly how to do it.
Seventh stoppage time goal in the second half this season for Charleston. Looking for another one. Chris Allen has this ball ricochet off the defender.
That's exactly what Ben Pearman said about his side. They never give up. They keep on going. They battle right to the end. And they're showing that spirit here. And even if they go down 3-1, at least they've got a goal back. They've showed Lou City that should they meet again in the playoffs, that they'll be a tough side once again.
Torres lifts this ball around. Smith again was going after it. He's asking for a corner, but looked like that ball might have missed. Going out. Will this be a preview of another postseason tussle between these two sides.
Yeah, only difference this time around, it looks like it'll be at Lou City's home ground should they meet, whereas end of last season it was at Charleston Batteries at Patriots Point. Of course, there's the match against Tampa Bay still to come here at Lynn Family Stadium in October. That could be another cracking game.
Tampa Bay tonight falling to Loudon 2-0 at home.
At home? Wow.
Leslie Leggett and Zach Ryan score in that matchup.
There's me building Tampa Bay up, and they're going to get beaten at home.
Lou City wins for the 11th time in 12 tries at home. The final tally tonight, 3-1. Danny Cruz's side stays atop the Players' Shield standing in front of nearly 14,000 fans. Gary, your thoughts on another fine performance from Lou City?
I think you summed it up. It is exactly that, a fine performance. They dominated the game. They went 1-0 up, could have gone 2-0 up. They had the chances. And then as Charleston Battery started to try and get at them and leave some gaps and throw a few more attackers on, they countered with Jansen Wilson, and they countered again with Philip Goodrum on debut. Just so much attacking ability to this Lou City side, so well organized. They are, without question, in my mind, the team to beat this season.
With that win, Lou City fans, you can head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's tomorrow to get a free small Frosty. No purchase necessary. So a Lou City victory here tonight. And it all started with tonight's move of the match, presented by Toyota. Ray Serrano's corner, hitting the head of Aiden McFadden.
Aiden McFadden doing so well, gets up and he twists his head and he puts power behind that ball. Gives Adam Grinwith rather no chance whatsoever. That's not just a flick on, that's a turn and a thump with the head. Fantastic finish there from Adam McFadden.
It all started in the 17th minute, 2 goals in the second half, and Lou City continues its stout home performance. 3-1 is the final score tonight, presented by Gorski Law Office. We'll sum things up when we return.
When you need inspiration and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the 3rd health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I'm finally feeling control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on. There you go.
Whoa.
Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
Get an adventurous new 24 RAV4 or RAV4 hybrid with 4.99 APR financing, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $339 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
Our post-game tonight is presented to you by Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. Lou City 3, Charleston 1, and the path to the Players' Shield continues to go through Louisville. Michael and Gary back to wrap things up here this evening. Lou City had the majority of the possession in the first half, and they scored in the 17th minute.
Yeah, set piece, which will be frustrating for Charleston Battery, but Adam McFadden getting up so well, whipping his head, putting power on that header, giving Adam Grimwith no chance whatsoever. That's not a lucky flick on, that's a very good headed goal by Adam McFadden.
Off of a corner kick, McFadden with his 3rd goal of the season. And that would be the score at halftime. Despite some chances from Charleston in this matchup, the Battery would have an opportunity just really once in that first half to try to equalize. But here in the 82nd minute, things got open, and what a pass this was. Taylor Davila and Jansen Wilson scores for the 3rd match in a row.
Jansen Wilson had got away a few minutes earlier and given offside. He just timed it perfectly there. The ball, as you say, from Taylor Davila, absolutely brilliant. And once he's through, Jansen Wilson head up and gives Adam Grimwist no chance whatsoever. Good finish, great counter-attack, and then effectively put the match to bed.
It was 2-0 at that point in the contest, and Philip Goodrum signed earlier this week, the largest interleague fee in history, and he got his first ever goal.
And that's why. Chests it down to perfection, puts it onto his right foot, and then absolutely buries it. Such a clinical finish. Makes it look so simple. And by the way, good pass there from Adrian Perez.
Charleston would get on the board in this match, and it would be Graham Smith with quite the goal.
Yeah, from big center back, it is a great strike there, just getting it past Damian Lasses. Calls for a foul here. Have a look at Philip Goodrum on the end of the box, get bumped here, but to me it's not a foul. He just gets in the way, and good strike though from Graham Smith.
Charleston had scored multiple goals in 8 in a row, but held to just 1 tonight. They would get 10 shots in the second half, but too much Lou City in this one. What's your biggest takeaway from the match?
I just think Lou City controlled the game. I don't think they were really in danger. Charleston Battery might have had the shots. They weren't good enough. They really didn't test Damian Lass at all. And the goal late on, but by then the game was dead and buried. So fantastic performance by Lou City. A good fight from Charleston Battery, let's be fair to them, but it looks like Lou City should go on from here and win the Players' Shield as the best side in the USL.
53 points, now 4 clear of Charleston in the Eastern Conference. Louisville City victorious tonight. Their goal-scoring pop persists, and they've won 5 in a row for the first time since July of 2022. A final score tonight presented by Gorski Law Office. Lou City 3, Charleston Battery 1. For my partner tonight, Gary Bailey, and our entire crew, Louisville upends Charleston in the battle of the top 2 in the USL Championship. I'm Michael Watring saying so long. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.